up, y'all? Welcome back, man. We're gonna do a quick live. I know it's the middle of the day for some of you, and but if you haven't made money today, I know some of you did. I've heard from you, and so I'm gonna share something with you that I don't get to talk about a lot, and but I think this is gonna help you because ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to build a thriving business and then use that business to live our dream life, right? So if you watch my videos, and I know you do, you know that I'm in the process of building my dream home and while building my family's dream home right here in Dallas. And a big part of that is, all right, so full disclosure, a couple of years ago, we were homeowners, lived in a home and whatnot. And what we found out very quickly is that it's really tough to commit to a 30-year paycheck. And so I didn't like the feeling. My wife didn't like the feeling. We didn't have the time with the family that we wanted. We weren't living the life that we wanted to live. And so our big idea was, let's get in position so we can live the life that we actually truly want to live. But you do need a house. You do need somewhere to stay. And so we were like, all right, let's figure out a better way to buy a home than to use a paycheck. So most people are going to go out and buy one of these, buy a house, and they're going to use a paycheck to do it. So that means that if your house, for instance, right, like we were, if your house is a 30-year mortgage, and then the only way that you pay for your house is by using what's called a paycheck. So because I've been telling you all and trying to get you into a different mindset. So this channel is about not just about living your best life, living your blessed life, living a life that you want to live as opposed to the life that you have to live. Because I've lived the life that I have to live. It ain't no fun. I'd rather live the way I want to live. And so whenever I teach you about starting a business, now you got to know what's next. What do you do with it? How do you utilize it to live your dream life? And so if you go out and you get a 30-year mortgage, and then that 30-year mortgage has to be paid for the next 30 years. So if you get a house today, you have to pay on that house from 2024 to 2054. So let's say you're 30 years old, right? So you'll be 60 years old, just if you're 30. You'll be 60 years old by the time you pay for that house, right? And your prime will be long gone. So that ain't no way that anybody should want to live. It damn sure ain't a way for me to live. Because I always tell people, yes, I want to be successful. Yes, I want to be rich. I want to be that way now so I can enjoy it. I don't care about having $1 million when I'm 80 years old, right? All I'm going to do is buy food and probably walk slowly everywhere. So that doesn't appeal to me. I want to live my best life now. And so knowing that a mortgage is a 30-year paycheck, all right, well, if I buy a house with a paycheck like most people, now I'm tied to that house for 30 years and I got to have the paycheck to pay for it. Otherwise, they're going to repossess this home, foreclose it, and I'm going to lose it. I can be 25 years into it and still lose it. And so I know right away that that's a bad idea. So I don't want to be in that situation where if anything happens to my paycheck, it disrupts my entire life. So I don't want to be a person who's using a paycheck to pay a 30-year mortgage because I don't want to be the 60 or 65-year-old person trying to pay for a house. To me, that makes no sense. And so I'm going to teach you something really important today, something you're going to enjoy. It's going to be an awesome lesson. And I made this up myself. So, and the drawings, I've done them myself. So you can tell, I know it's obvious. And so I got something called an ACL, right? And it's not the ligament that's in your knee, but it does, it does help you to hold your finances together. And I'll show you. So A stands for asset, right? ASSET. A stands for asset. C stands for cash flow. So I'm going to teach you how to buy a house without needing a paycheck. And then L is for liability. So I know right now a lot of you are confused, super confused. Like, hey man, I don't get it. Asset times cash flow equals liability. All right, so what are you trying to tell me? Glad you asked. And so we're going to go ahead and break this down so we can learn how to buy a house using, you ready? Your middleman business. So you might ask, hey, if you're not going to buy your house with your paycheck, Shon, you and your family, then how are you going to buy the house? Glad you asked. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to teach you our game plan. So I'm going to give you an inside peek into my family, how we think, how we operate, how we move, and how we're going to get our house without us having to work until we're 60, 65 years old and having to have a paycheck, right? Because if you run a business, you don't want to have a paycheck. At some point, you want to get away from the paycheck and get the business going, right? And so asset times cash flow equals liability. So here's what I want you to know. That a house that you live in and pay a note on, the first thing you need to know is that's a liability. In order to determine what's liability, all you have to do is look at the way the cash flows. Cash flow determines liability. So if cash flows to you, that's an asset. If cash flows away from you, that's a liability. So let me ask you, understanding that, if you live in a house and you have to pay the mortgage on the house every month, is money leaving your pocket to go to the bank, or is it going into your pocket from the bank? Money's going out of your pocket to pay your mortgage, right? So that means you have a negative cash flow liability. The only thing that determines whether it's a liability or an asset is simply the cash flow. So now you know that the cash flow is moving away from you. So now you know that a house that you live in and pay a mortgage on is a liability. First thing we got to understand. So our dream home, if we live in it and we use a paycheck to pay for it, it's a liability. Yes, it's a nice home. Yes, we love it, but it's still a liability. So don't forget the financial principles of what is cash flow, what is it, what is an asset, what's a liability, right? So now we understand that cash flow determines whether it's an asset or a liability. Now we don't want to use paychecks, but we still want to get our home. So here's what we got to figure out. All right, and I'll use a quick example. Let's say this house, beautiful $1 million home, is $5,000 a month mortgage. So the mortgage on this house, for instance, is going to be $5,000 a month. So we got a $5,000 per month mortgage. We know that on our $1 million home. Because we want a nice home. We don't want a shack. We want to get home. We're not building this business up to live poor. We can live poor without a business, but we're building middleman businesses so we can thrive and live the life we want to live. So follow me. Asset times cash flow equals liability. All right, so what does that mean? All right, so here's how that's going to look for you. Your asset, because you need to have an asset, is your middleman business. Hope y'all can see that. Your asset is your middleman business. Right? So what's the asset? Your middleman business. So if you started a middleman business, like most of you did in the past week or so, then you have an asset. That asset is your middleman business. Now, as you grow that middleman business, let's say low end, you start off very, very slow. You don't have a lot of customers. You're not blowing up. You're just getting your feet wet. Let's say low end, you make $5,000 in that month. So now you got an asset that didn't cost you a lot to start. You turn that asset, after you get busy and start getting customers, you turn that asset into $5,000 a month. Now, $5,000 a month is not going to make you rich. $5,000 a month is only $60,000 a year. The big difference is most people have to go to work and sell their time for money to get a paycheck for that. And it's taxed up front. So they don't even get the $5,000. You built a business, right, that works whether you go to work or not, because you can do this from home on your phone. You don't have to go anywhere. It makes $5,000. You get $5,000. Yes, there's taxes you can pay at the end of the year, but you can also invest those taxes into your money and write it off. I'm just saying. So now you created a middleman business. It generates $5,000 a month, right? And now you use that $5,000 a month to go and purchase your house. Why? Because now you have cash flow. Do you see what I did there? Most people are going to use a paycheck to make a few dollars to buy the house. And now they're locked into it because if they lose the paycheck, they lose the house. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not a way I want to live. To me, that ain't freedom. And I like freedom more than I like money. I love money. Oh, but I love me some freedom. I want to be free. You could go to work and make $100,000 a year on the job. I'll take $50,000, half of what you make, without having a job. And I'm happy. I'm happier. And so I want you to understand that you can use your middleman business to buy a house. And for everybody who's thinking about buying a house, I just showed you how to buy a house with a business and not have to get a paycheck. Most people, their asset, what they think is their asset, is going to be their job. Most people are going to get, when you say, hey, where's your money coming from? It's coming from my job. And then they're going to go to their job to get this thing called a paycheck. Y'all, this is so good because they're not going to teach y'all this in school. They're not even going to teach you this in college. What you're learning right here is a game changer. It's life changing. They're going to go to work, exchange all their time for a paycheck, and then they're going to go out and buy the liability, which is a house. Well, my house is my biggest asset. That's a lie. It's the bank's asset. It's your liability. Just follow the cash flow. If the bank was paying you, it's an asset. If you have a tenant in the house and they rent from you and they pay your bills and put money in your pocket, that's an asset. Cash flows to you. If cash flows away from you, you have a liability. But I'm not here to fuss at you and chew you out. I'm just here to educate you. Just here to give you a different perspective. So for everybody out there, for everybody who's enrolled in the masterclass and already started, because some of you are real go-getters. You're going faster than I thought you would. But and I get the texts and the emails every day. Everybody's grinding. And for those of you who have already jumped into the masterclass, took the course, and then moved directly into setting up your business, you're going to have this worked out in no time. But for those of you who are thinking about buying a house using a paycheck, then you're going to be in a 30-year fight for your life. If anything happens to your paycheck in that 30-year period, right? 30 years, you got to pay a mortgage. I don't know if you know, but if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Is that, I believe that's 360 payments. That's a lot. So if you don't find a better way to pay for your house, you're going to buy a house with a paycheck, 360 payments, and you're going to pay the bank, keep the banks rich while you struggle through life because you're probably in a house you can't afford, or you probably one bad day away from losing your job. Or they'll just replace you with technology or a system or another process that doesn't require you. Or some kid coming out of college who doesn't have the bills you have, live at home with their parents, and they'll work for less, right? And so I don't want you to be in a position where less is a part of your vocabulary. I want you to always be in a position where abundance and more, not lack or less, is always a part of your vocabulary. So don't use the job to get the paycheck to pay for the liability. That's 30 years of prison. Use the business, start a business, whether it's a middleman business or not, it doesn't matter. Start a business. Let the business grow. By the time the business, and I only use 5,000, that's small, but I was just making a simple example. Your business can make 50,000 a month, doesn't matter. But my point is, start a business, let the business produce cash flow, and then let the cash flow go buy the liability. You're either going to buy with a paycheck or you're going to buy with cash flow. You're either going to make money from your job by selling your time, pimp my time, or you're going to make money by creating a business. I'd rather buy the house using income from an asset than to use paychecks from a job where I got to keep selling my time every week. That's wearing me out. I'd rather create a business, let the business buy my house. So when you see our dream house built here in Dallas, and you see the house, and you're going to look at it and go, well, what kind of work? You know, where are you guys working to get a paycheck to pay for that? And I'm going to say there's no paycheck. We don't use paychecks. We don't like them. They're very addictive, right? So I know I've had them, and I'm not against them. I'm just against not knowing there are other options. So if you create a business, let the business produce cash flow, for instance, $5,000, then you take the cash flow, the $5,000 per month, go to the lender, get your house. It costs $5,000 a month. Well, guess what? There's the $5,000 coming from the asset. That's going to cover your house. So whether you go to work or not, doesn't matter. As long as the business is running, who cares? It still buys your house. Now you got a happy family, happy wife, happy life, happy family, happy children. Everybody's doing well. Everybody's excited. And they're learning from you how to build a business. They're learning from you how to run a business. So you don't need business credit to start this. The course is very affordable. You don't need credit to get enrolled in my course. It's super affordable. Go get it. Click the link in the first comment below, or just go to middlemanceo.com and grab it. So you don't need business credit to start a business. You don't need credit to go and buy a house. Once you develop cash flow, they're never going to ask you for your credit. They just want to know how your assets are producing cash flow. That's all the banks care about. They don't care about your credit. People run out here and they're like, well, we need credit to start a business. For what? Why? Go get a customer. Don't go get yourself in bad debt. Go get a customer. The customer will fund your business, especially the way we teach it, right? I teach you to book, deposit, dispatch. You book a job. It doesn't cost you anything to get on the phone with the customer and book a job. You jump on the phone with the customer, you book a job, right? Hope you guys got this. But you jump on the phone with the customer, and what do you do real quick? Easy. You book a job. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And then you capture a deposit. Hello. Now we just got paid. That deposit for whatever you do could be $250. Who knows? Depends on what industry you're in. You might be in the let me see, what's that industry? Cabinet installations. You might know someone who does cabinets. Home installations. Cabinets, install of cabinets could be $2,500. You might take 10%. Hey, I'll take the $250, and then you dispatch it to your ISP. Hope that's how you spell it. You dispatch it to your ISP who does the work. You're paid, you're done. On to the next call. On to the next call. So if this makes sense to you, hit the thumbs up. But again, book, deposit, dispatch. We're not here to do hard work. We're not here to work all day. We're here to enjoy life. We're here to have fun. We're here to hit the beach, hit the good restaurants, spend time at the nice hotels. You know, me and my family, we can pack up every weekend and go hang out somewhere. We don't because we got young kids. But if we did it, and when those kids get older, you'll see us traveling a whole lot. And so I want you to understand that the life you desire to live is right in front of you. I got news for you. It's no coincidence that you found this channel. How do I know that? Because this channel is one of the smallest channels on YouTube. I haven't even been doing this long, right? There's no promotion. There's no paid ads. There's no anything. I just get on here and keep it real and tell you how to buy a house using your middleman business, how to buy a car. You can take a house out, put car using your middleman business. Hey, don't go out there and get business credit. You don't need that. It's a middleman business. You don't need any credit. The business is going to fund itself. How do I know? Booking is free. Deposit, you're going to make money. Dispatch is free. All you're doing is bringing money in. I'm just saying. You book a $200, $250 deposit. You do that 2 times a day, just 2 times. You got $500 a day. You do that for the entire month. You just earned 15K using your phone from your house. I don't know what else to tell you if this doesn't make sense. But it's the same game plan that I'm using with my family. Everywhere I go, I got my middleman shirt on. Hey, what do you mean make money without doing the work? Hey, let me tell you, right? For everybody who's in the middleman course right now that's enrolled, they can tell you. They can tell you how the business is rocking and rolling. They can tell you that they don't have to get out and do all of that work anymore. They can tell you that the model works. You just have to work it, right? It's not a $5,000 course. It's not a $10,000 course. Click the link in the first comment, get the course. You're going to be shocked at how affordable it is, right? And you're going to be shocked. Or go to middlemanceo.com and get the course. Will it go up? Yeah, eventually it's going to go up. But right now is your opportunity. So it's no coincidence that you're here. This is your moment. This is your time. This is the break you've been waiting for. You've been sitting there praying, going, oh Lord, I just need a sign. I need a break. And here we are. And here's the sign. You need to move. Stop making excuses. Stop causing yourself to be in the same position over and over. We're not waiting to the new year to get better. We're getting better today, right? We're going to be ahead of the calendar. We're getting better today. When I look up in 2025, oh, I better have some money. And you need to be thinking the same way. When I look up a year from now, my business is going to be $15,000, $20,000 a month. Go for it. Nothing's stopping you. All you have to do is book jobs, take the deposit, dispatch. You don't do any of the work. The service providers already do that. All you need to do is find them a customer, get paid, send it away. Have you ever seen Jeff Bezos on the back of an Amazon truck? Ever? Nobody has. Reason being is because he's not doing the work. He has contractors who do the work. That's all I'm trying to tell you. There's plenty of people out there who's waiting for the work. They're ready to help you, ready to do the work. All you have to do is book the job, dispatch it, take your deposit, and you're done. Right? Phone rings 3 times a day. You might make a minimum $400, $500 off that. Depends on how much you take on your deposits. I recommend try to be around $150 on everything you do. So with that being said, if you're $150 and you get 3 calls and you lock them all in, you made $450. It may have taken you 10 minutes each call. And then you dispatch them to, like we do, I'll dispatch them to a list of service providers. I don't even do it now because I have the virtual assistant. But whenever I was doing it on the phone, I would just dispatch it. And these guys and girls would eat it up. It wouldn't even last 2 minutes. They all just snatch it. Right? And then if they don't get it, they're so hungry. They're like, hey, whatever's coming next, don't dispatch it to anybody else. Send it to me. No questions asked. Now you know you have a good contractor base. And now all you have to do is provide them with assignments and you continue to get paid, baby. That's all I'm saying. So I'm Shon-Jhon, your Middleman CEO. Hit subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe so you can get the new videos as they drop. Hit thumbs up because I know I'm giving you some fire content and it's going to bless you and it's going to change your life. I'm only telling you what I do. This example I've just given to you, it's not something I heard about someone else doing. It's something I do. Creating a middleman business and making money, I'm not telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I do. If you ask me how I make money, I do this. We book, we deposit, we dispatch. That's all we do. That's why I have all this free time to be spending time with you. And I enjoy it. I love it. It's a privilege to be able to do it. And I'm thankful that I get to share with you. I'm thankful for everybody who's in the masterclass. Can't wait to link up with you guys in the training we got coming up very soon. In fact, email me to get the date so I don't forget because I have a lot going on, right? But again, when you see our house, it wasn't a paycheck. It was a middleman business that bought the house. So, and yours could just be a car. $5,000 a month could buy you whatever you want car-wise. Not even a lot of money for business, but because you don't have to use a paycheck and trade your time for money, it makes you free. That's all I'm trying to say. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to get in the masterclass, and I advise you to do so before the prices go up, click the link in the first comment below. You don't have to tell me, hey, Shon, I want to get into it. Hey, Shon, I'm thinking about it. Listen, do it or don't. It's up to you, right? It's your life. It's your future. I got mine. You do what you need to do. right? See you on the next video, guys. I'm telling you, this is the way to do it. Now you know how to buy a house without needing a paycheck. I'm just saying. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.